A bid to disband KZN ANC provincial leadership continues. The fate of the ANC and KZN will be decided in the Pietermaritzburg High Court this morning. So-called ANC rebels are heading to the High Court today to hear whether their application for leave to execute judgment of a previous order was successful. Lawrence Dube and fellow applicants brought an application for leave to execute judgment pending any appeal. Granted the application, the original September court order to dissolve the KZN Provincial Executive Committee would take effect until the appeal by that committee was heard and concluded. The judgment effectively disbanded the leadership structure led by Provincial Chairman Sihle Zikalala. Well, we are now joined by ANN7 reporter Patisa Mfuyu for more on the story. Good morning to you, Patisa. Just give us some background details with regards to the story and also what are the expectations in court this morning?
Well, Abigail, all the applicants and the defendants are here today. They just arrived a few minutes ago. There's heavy police presence here and outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court where the matter is expected to be heard. We know that today's application, it's an application for the judgment which was handed out in September by the Pietermaritzburg High Court, where Lawrence Dube and 3 others, they want that judgment to go through, where they want the PEC to vacate offices, but whether that will happen or not, we'll find out after today. The matter has been set to only be heard for today, so we're not sure if it's going to be extended or not. While I was speaking to the advocates inside, they said that today it will basically be arguments between the two sides here at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. But on top of that, there's also the leave to appeal the judgment, which was handed out by the same court in September this year. So now we know that, remember when we had a briefing with Super Zuma, who's the provincial secretary of the ANC about a month ago, he said that the national office has joined in the province. So there will be lawyers from the NEC who will be working together with the lawyers on the PEC side, where they've both appealed the judgment which was handed over by the judges the last year in September. So today we will be hearing arguments as to why the execution order should be granted, and also talking about the leave to appeal. But it is the mood here. You can see the politicians, they just walked in. The environment is not as hostile, because I just saw Kwazim Shengu talking to Stembiso Mshengu, who is also helping the applicants here in court. So it's not a hostile environment, but at the end of the day, when we spoke to all of them, they said at the end of the day, they're all members of the ANC in good standing, and nothing is going to change that. They just wanted this matter dealt with once and for all. So we will hear here at the Pietermaritzburg Court how it will pan out. We're not sure if the judgment will be held today or not, or it will take some time for them. I know most of the time judgment is reserved, and then we hear the decision in a few time. This matter was supposed to be heard on the 13th of November, but was postponed today because the national lawyers together with the province, they needed to work together and also find a suitable date. Hence, it is heard today. As we know that it's that time where the ANC conference is just a few weeks away. So with everything, with this court case, everyone says they just want it over and done with. But as the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the ANC says they are ready to defend themselves today, and they hope that that execution order won't go through. But at the same time, talking about the conference, if you notice, most of them are of the PEC, which is the people that are here to defend themselves, which is Sihle Zikalala and others. They're going to the conference as delegates. So I'm not sure if they'll be going as the PEC or as delegates. Remember, part of this whole court case is to have the whole PEC disbanded and have the results of the 2015 elective conference nullified. So it will be interesting to see how it all pans out as we look forward to the conference in a few weeks' time.
Patisa, just lastly, you did mention that the current situation is in no way hostile. There seems to be no hostility, no violence. But you did mention that there is quite a large police presence outside of the court. Just talk us through why that is possibly so.
It's always the case with all the big cases here at the Pietermaritzburg court, where the whole road, it's a pity, it's behind the camera. It's normally barricaded, where I see a few police inyalas, there are a few police cars. I remember that the case like this, it normally supports a large number of ANC supporters. So I think in terms of SAPS, this is just a way, it's just a precaution on their side. All the times that we've had, we've been here at the Pietermaritzburg court, there have never been any incidents. Just across the Pietermaritzburg High Court is an open field where normally supporters, they wait there and wait for the leadership to come and address them as soon as the court proceedings are finished. But there is a heavy police presence. The road is closed coming into the Pietermaritzburg High Court, just to ensure that only people with passes to go inside are allowed to listen to the matter. Even the people attending the court inside will all receive tickets, which limits the number of people that are allowed to go inside court, which is just a precaution from the side of the police.
All right, thank you very much, Patisa, for the update. We'll check in with you later this morning for further details and developments there from the Pietermaritzburg High Court, where the fate of the ANC and KZN will be decided this morning. The so-called ANC rebels are heading to the High Court today to hear whether their application for leave to execute judgment of a previous order was successful or not. Stay tuned to ANN7 for those details.